toughest things to do in all of college football is win on the road. When you're a ranked team going into a hostile environment, these fans are ready to knock them off course. Glad to have you with us from Aggie Memorial Stadium in Las Cruces, New Mexico, home to the Aggies of New Mexico State. As we'll see the number 21 team in the country, the New Mexico Lobos, taking on a team looking for its first win, the New Mexico State Aggies. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. And guys, let's get this thing started. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. So the New Mexico State Aggies offense will dial up the first ball plays in this one. And the adrenaline is pumping on overdrive in games like this, guys, and it's crucial to get your emotions under control.
No doubt. In rivalry games, you've got to limit the mental errors, and you've got to limit the penalties, because those will kill you, Pollard.
And you got to come out under control. It means so much. We know that. The fans are all talking about it, but it's just football.
You know when you're playing against a defense of this caliber, you're going to have some sort of balance, right? You can't just drop back and throw it every single play. Nothing going on that last run. They're going to have to find another way to get it going, handing the ball off.
They finally wrestle down the senior, but not before he picks up some valuable ground. They'll snap it from the 36. They've got a first down. Looking to throw on first down. Makes the grab. They're now out across the 40, and he's out of bounds at the 42.
Really good offenses are able to attack short. You've got to be able to attack the whole field to make you honor that underneath part, then the intermediate part, and then you take shots down the field. This will loosen up some shots for later in the game.
Quickly to the tight end. They'll get it to the 48. No need to measure. It's a first down.
Yeah, and tight ends aren't just line up and block guys anymore. These guys are athletes. You line them up all over the field, and nowadays you even start to feature them more and more in the passing game.
The give from the gun. Good pickup on that play. It'll bring up 2nd and 4.
And that quarterback knew the counter run was going to work on that play because he counted the box defensively before the snap. He saw that he had an advantage in numbers and blockers getting a hat on a hat, so he knew that was a green light. As soon as he got the snap, off they go, and it's an explosive play.
Now facing a 3rd and long. They'll go with a direct snap. And boy, is he close to that first down, maybe just a couple of inches short. New Mexico State will be forced to punt. He ought to be able to use this first punt to pin him deep. No opportunity to run it back as the ball goes out of bounds. So the New Mexico Lobos offense taking the field. First chance we have to see them today. And what a performance, an aerial show from this guy in the last game, and he has to have a ton of confidence coming into this one, David.
Yeah, it was a great week. And watching that tape before this game, like you could tell, man, he was seeing it quick. The ball was coming out, just touchdowns at will. A really nice day. And I think, Jesse, you take that and you start to build on it for this offense and really continue to trust him to make plays through the air.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think he really earned his offensive coordinator's trust after that performance. So I'm anticipating the playbook to expand a little bit in this game. Maybe see some new schemes in the passing game just based on what this guy was able to do the last time he took the field.
Quarterback has to have command in those situations. You cannot afford a penalty like that deep in your own territory. He'll set up to throw. Just gets rid of it to the running back underneath. He's there to make the stop, but the damage has been done as they pick up the first down on the throw and catch. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Oh, they're after him. Blasted as he lets it go. Intercepted.
And the defender makes a great read, breaks on the football, and makes the big interception in the back end. And here's the thing, that's number 4 this season, so he's finding the football consistently.
Wants to throw on first down. Makes the grab. It's late. Got room on the return. Now he's got it all the way down to to the 21-yard line, and they are threatening on first down. With jet sweep pass. And he has a solid gain before the defense bottles him up. The Aggies can really attack on this second and short. Back to pass. Sets up the screen. That completion takes them down to the 7-yard line, and they are ready to strike.
Man, this quarterback's been in a nice rhythm all drive, hasn't he? He's just playing on time. He's making good decisions. He's now got the offense at first and goal. I'd let him throw it down here. He has earned that right.
Setting up the screen. And he never had a chance. As soon as he caught it, the defense was right there.
Well, the defense sniffed that screen out perfectly. All the D linemen, they were reading the body language of the offensive line. They knew something was up, and when the screen pass got thrown, they were right there to make the tackle.
We've reached the end of the first quarter, and it has been a defensive battle, and the stats tell the tale so far. Starting off this quarter close enough to smell the goal line. The run up the middle, looking for the score. He works his way all the way down to the 3, and the defense is reeling.
Brings up 3rd and goal.
They'd love to make this short field pay off with a touchdown instead of a field goal, but it's 3rd and goal. From the gun, wants to pass. Wide out trying to get it in. And they've got him down after the short completion, but they inch closer and closer to pay dirt. They'll play it safe and send out the field goal unit. Absolutely perfect. And the first points of the day come on that field goal.
And you want a touchdown and you want to be aggressive, but man, right down the middle, that obviously gives me some confidence down the road that I can trust this guy.
After that last field goal drive, they're set to kick it away. The ball bounces through the end zone, and it will be a touchback. Now New Mexico will go back to work on offense. They're looking for any type of offense to try to get this thing going down 3-0. Intercepted. A first-half turnover can swing momentum. Picked up a few extra on that return, but what a play by this defense to get the football. They're going to test the right side with this one. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. They'll try the run. And this one will be stopped for no gain.
Man, how about that defense? On the snap, they are in the backfield with great penetration. Nowhere to go for the running back. That defense was sitting on G, waiting on O.
Pass rush coming after the quarterback, and they get him at the 32. They'll tell you that somebody's always going to pop open, but it didn't happen in time before they got the sack.
No, it did not. And you know what? I'm going to remember this. I'm going to remember zone defense. They didn't really have an answer. They weren't ready to get rid of the football. Quarterback hesitated. I got to him and got him on the ground. Might be a good call later on in the game.
Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Fellas, while we have a moment, let's peek in on what's going on in a big one in the American. Georgia Tech will need to mount a comeback, but those fans that were there when Calvin Johnson was a 2-time All-American know this game is not over. It's a touchdown game. They're trailing by 7 to Florida Atlantic. Ought to be fun, fellas, to see how things play out in this notable...
Oh, he wants it all. Makes the catch on the left. And a potentially touchdown-saving tackle made there after the long completion. This offense has had trouble getting it in gear, but maybe a little life here on 1st and 10. Bringing the heat. Just too much of a rush, and down goes the quarterback just behind the midfield stripe at the 49. And the Lobos have put themselves in dire straits after that last play. It's 2nd and a mile. Wants to go up top. Oh, he's going to try to hit him over the top. And it slips through his fingers, incomplete. That would have been a huge gain if he could have held on. Connection leaves him with a third down. Looking to throw, and he needs a chunk play. Working the middle of the field, and it's complete. He stopped short, and it's fourth down. They'll leave the offense out there to try to get it past the marker and pick up the first. On fourth down, he'll try to toss it. Gonna let it fly. Oh, he dropped it. That deep ball was right on the money. You just have to make that catch. And that decision will be questioned for a while. Wants to go up top on first down. Throws for the tight end. And this will be incomplete. A big hit there forces second down. Couldn't make the connection last time. Let's see if they throw it again. Second down, they'll go to the air. Caught over the middle. It's Lay. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Here they come, facing third and long from the 40. From the gun, wants to pass. He'll try to do it himself. No, he got loose. They convert on third down as he gets it to the 46-yard line. New Mexico State to the line after picking up the first down. Looking downfield on first down. Had to get rid of it quickly. Good job to toss that ball out of bounds and avoid the loss.
Well, this quarterback started taking a couple shots from the pocket, and there's another one right there that affected his accuracy on that throw.
Wants to fire on second down. Just tried to drop a little floater in there, and it's incomplete.
One of the things I love about this kid is that he goes to work. He struggled his last game out, completed less than 50% of his throws. So back to the drawing board, back to fundamentals, and you can see that.
And he's all bottled up, and now it's worse. The ball's loose. That football must be riveted to your rib cage. How can you let it go? At least they fell on it.
Great job by the defense, forcing the fumble, but a bad, unfortunate bounce, and the offense pounces back on it.
New Mexico State will be forced to punt. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. Fields the punt and try to pick up some yards. Pretty solid coverage there, and they'll stop him at the 26. So let's see how they play it in this final 30 seconds of the first half. They'll come out on this drive and let it rip. And the physical play there forces the incompletion on first down.
Really good coverage by this defense. They were aware of everyone on the field, and including the running back. A lot of times those guys get lost in the shuffle, but they saw him. They knew.
Going deep. And he is finding wide open defenders all over the field. His third interception of the day. And they get the takeaway and prevent points from going up just before the end of the half.
And what a great moment for that young man right there. That's his first career interception in college football. He's a guy that's worked so hard. He wanted to make an impact for his defense this year and comes up with them.
Unleashes one deep. It's incomplete, and they tried to finish this quarter with a bang and couldn't quite connect. That's going to wrap up the first half here, and now we join Kevin with the halftime update.
Guys, rivalry games always bring out a ton of emotions, and they were on full display in that first half.
New Mexico State will kick it away to open this third quarter. On the move from inside his 5. Just never. chance to shake loose, and he'll be brought down at the 24. Let's see what the Lobos offense has in store. They start this third quarter one-possession game and hoping to get an early drive going.
This offense is ready, and they're ready to take the field here and see if they can get something established. They don't have to change everything and reinvent the wheel. They've had some successes.
Looking for a deep man. And it's picked off for the fourth time today. Couldn't find a ton of room on that return, but that small change, they take over at the 33.
And talk about being an impact player for his defense. That's now his second interception in this game. Time and time again, when they've thrown his direction, he's come up with a big play. And in a tight game like this, those 2 interceptions, that is massive for this defense.
This junior making his presence felt and making the stop after a short gain.
That's a really good job by the defense, wrapping them up, getting them on the ground, take away that run game, make them one-dimensional, put them in passing situations. Really good job by the defense.
Turning it on! Just what they were looking for, and he's got him set up in business at the 35 with a first down. Passing game kept this drive moving. Let's see if they try it again. Power football with the run.
And, man, the big fellas up front, they don't get a lot of credit. They don't get talked about a lot unless it's negative, but they're the big component, man. They've got to get some push, to get some running lanes, get this running game going. They're the ones that make it go.
Rushes on him. Zings it complete to the right. And he's brought down after a nice game.
Well, you haven't seen a lot of incompletions from this guy now in his last 2 games out. Completed over 70% of his throws last week. He's doing it again in this game. As a head coach, you got to love the fact.
Got some room headed to the goal line. And he runs it in for the score. Touchdown, New Mexico State.
And you see the option being such a pain in the behind of the best programs in college football. When you got quarterbacks that have those multiple options, they're making you play very disciplined, and the QB takes it himself, gets in for the score.
Flips it out on the screen. He's got the 2-point conversion, and they build on that lead. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. Here he comes from inside his own 5. Couldn't find a way to create that broken field as he stopped at the 25. Let's see what the Lobos offense has dialed up this time. They are in serious need of putting together a scoring drive right here, down 14-0. Looking to throw on first down. And he will get home, and the quarterback goes down at the 17.
Man, this defensive end is a monster. I mean, you've seen his athleticism and his speed and his bend and his flexibility. He now has 2 sacks, and there's still a lot of football to play.
They'll go to work in the air on second down. And the defense gets loose, bringing the heat, and down he goes again.
And this offensive line's got to do a better job. Man, you got to protect your quarterback. Listen, this offense is not playing great. They got to somehow find a way to start to get something together here in this second half.
On third and long, no secret what he needs here. And that is his 5th interception, a nightmare he is not waking up from. And a big return after the INT sets up the offense for this possession.
And that's got to feel good, and that's a play this young man is never going to forget. His first interception of the season. Great job reading the QB's eyes and getting to the football.
The Aggies offense will have another go at it. On that last drive, defense had no idea what was happening, run or pass, and it wound up in the end zone, Jesse.
Yeah, you saw the experience in this offense that last drive, too, on that touchdown. Everybody on the same page. These guys have repped these plays over and over in practice and in games, and it's working now.
Yeah, so I got to find a way to disrupt it. I got to find a way to maybe be more aggressive, maybe blitz, mess up this rhythm they got going.
And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. Boy, they'd love to move the sticks here and take a shot at it on first and goal. Motion from the wide. Touch pass on the run. And he goes out of bounds
just went with something very easy, very reliable. Flip it forward, let your receiver do. Now only got to get a few yards. Nice job, nice execution. First down.
Trying to barrel in. And into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, New Mexico State. How efficient have they been as they extend this lead here in Week 5? A quick strike, just as we expected.
Yeah, and quick strikes are easy when you got such great field position. Obviously, when the offense starts in such a good spot, puts the defense in a bad position, and the offense takes advantage.
And with the extra point, they're up 21-0. We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
Guys, your game is a big one, but so is this battle right now inside the American. Georgia Tech has just had no answers today. You should see what Yellow Jacket greats like Calvin Johnson are saying on social media right now. Talk about unhappy. They're trailing by 21 to Florida Atlantic. We'll circle back if anything big happens in this clash in the American you should know about.
And how about that one? Kevin will be keeping an eye on everything going on elsewhere. How about the zip this junior put on that ball to pick up the first down?
A nice passing game by this offense. The quarterback and the receiver on the same page, in time, in rhythm, creates the big play. And look at them. They're right back on the football, ready to run another play.
Well, this has been a day to forget if you're this quarterback. And I got to be honest, guys, I'm surprised he's still even in the game right now because he has had zero rhythm. He hasn't been accurate. He's thrown a ton of interceptions.
He'll take the deep shot. Got it. And he will score. Touchdown, New Mexico.
Man, oh man, when you got a weapon like that, you got to find him and you got to give him the ball in space. You have some plays on your play sheet and some of them just say, that guy, get him the ball, let him do the rest. Dangerous weapon out of the backfield, catching the football, making the big play.
The kickoff unit is out there, and boy, did that last drive quiet this crowd. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. The New Mexico State offense returns to the field. And after that last score, this is just a two-possession game now, and they'll be looking to find some cushion on this drive. Fires to the tight end. Stopped after a good pickup, and he'll be just a tad short of the first down. And the Aggies in a good spot here with second and short. That's the end of the quarter. New Mexico State has the lead. And they've built a comfortable lead after 3 quarters of play. Let's take a look at how we've gotten here. It'll be second down as we open the final stanza. Quick completion to the right. And he's brought down at the 40-yard line, and that'll be a first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. From the gun, they'll try to impose their will. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. The Aggies trying to find their way forward after the big loss on the last play. Running back searching for a hole. They can rely on this guy to pick up solid yardage when they need it, and he's out to the 43.
And here's the mindset if you're on offense. Fourth quarter, you've got a huge lead. Obviously, you're going to run the football, but just be aware of the clock. You don't want to snap it too quickly. You're probably just doing safe runs inside the tackles like you saw right there.
And the defense gets home. Yippee-ki-yay at the 35. New Mexico State will be forced to punt.
Number 17, on to kick it away.
Makes a nice grab at the 25. The solid return there off look at this New Mexico offense. Things had not gone the way they had planned, but maybe an opportunity to salvage. Trying to burn this defensive back. Oh, he had it. The deep ball was there, and it just trickled through his fingers.
The offense has got to find something here in the fourth quarter. You can tell pressing a little bit. They need that big play. They want that big play to try to make this game a better ball game. Took the shot. Unsuccessful, but I wouldn't be surprised if they take some more of those.
This time he's got it. And they'll pick up the first down and mark it at the 47.
Well, down 2 possessions. Good news is you get the completion. Bad news, though, did not get out of bounds. You know right now, saving the clock. That is at a premium for this offense.
Looking for the end zone. Touchdown, Lobos! They went for the big play, and boy, did it ever pay off.
Man, how hard is it to defend when you have a weapon like this at running back that can play wide receiver? You can design ways to get the football in his hand. Palmer, once you get it in his hands, he'll do the rest.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and oftentimes those are easier throws for quarterbacks. And these running backs, they're just naturally so good when they have the football out in space. Their vision, their creativity, their ability to make people miss. And this guy showed you right there a difficult guy to stop now if you're this defense moving forward.
And with the extra point, they're down a touchdown, 21-14.
New Mexico State. 20. New Mexico, 14.
So the kickoff team will come out after they turn in a score on that last drive. And he hauls it in, and everybody's on the edge of their seats. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. The Aggies offense will have another go at it. And now that cushion is a little bit smaller, Jesse, and any mistake would get magnified.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure now on this offense too, David. I think they got to go back to their playmakers and get these guys going in the game.
No doubt.
And that defense gets to him, and down he goes at the 9.
Strong safety blitzes can sometimes be hard to see coming from a quarterback standpoint because we're used to seeing the strong safeties insert themselves into the box, but you don't oftentimes see them blitz like that. That can be tricky to watch.
Clock continues to run, and they'll be happy to wind it all the way down before they snap it. He's got it on the right. And the defense settled in to stop that one for a short gain.
This slot receiver is a guy the defense has to be careful. Runs good routes. He's got some speed, and if you're not careful, this guy can gash you.
On third down, he drops the throw. And he got smacked just as he released the pass. It's incomplete.
Well, you haven't seen a ton of incompletions in this game, and that's good news for this QB. Obviously, he struggled his last game out. Part of that was the defense. Part of that was him not playing as well as he wanted to. But in this game, he really has been, for the most part, locked in, and that is a good sign for this offense.
Found a little running room on that one. Picked up some nice blocks before he's run out of bounds. Now New Mexico will go back to work on offense. We'll see how the offensive coordinator pieces together this drive down late in the fourth. Wasting no time throwing on this drive. Unloads it downfield. And it was worth going for a chunk play, but the long pass is incomplete.
Well, they're not able to hook up there, but considering this guy already has 2 touchdown catches in this game, now the offensive coordinator is dialing up more passes his way. And you know the quarterback, he's got like a sonar on him. He's always aware of where he is, and I like the idea. I'm going to keep throwing this guy the football and see if he can get another touchdown.
Down to the 26-yard line before they ride him out of bounds, and this defense is on its heels. They'll put it in play from the 27, first down. Dances away to buy time. Just couldn't find an open man. He'll get rid of it, and it'll be second down.
A nice job by the quarterback there. You're outside the pocket, nobody's open, so you throw the ball away knowing that you still have more chances to get this first down.
Plenty of work to do here on second and long. Quarterback making adjustments. Wants to throw it. The throw. And it'll be incomplete. This is some physical pass defense.
Well, they were trying to sneak him out of the backfield that time into the passing game, but that did not fool anybody on defense. What a hit, forcing that incompletion.
Ball spotted at the 27. They're facing a third and long to try to keep their hopes of a touchdown alive. We've reached the 2-minute timeout, and time is of the essence for this offense to get things done. And here we go, down a score. They'll go for it on fourth down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Makes the grab past the marker. They're able to keep him out of the end zone. He'll be stopped at the 2 after the big play in the passing game. Really good job there. Don't force anything. Take your time, and he finds his man for the first down.
Yeah, and I think really good job by seeing the defense. Understand that they're dropping back. They're taking away most things. All right, get the ball to my running back. He can make plays after he catches it. Nice job by the quarterback seeing the situation and where to go with the football.
That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball.
And you're seeing on both sides really hard to run the football in this one. You've got to give both of these defenses tons of credit. They are so physical up front. These defensive lines can take the game over, and right now, it's tough sledding on the ground.
Running play to the left, looking for the end zone here. He steps and powers and works his way. They finally get him down at the 2.
And this is the area of the field where you need a really good back. You can depend on, you can give him the football. He's going to hit a little crease and just lower his shoulder, be physical, be powerful. You saw last week he got a rushing touchdown. I look for this offense to continue to feed him and maybe get him another one today.
Touchdown, New Mexico! Excellent pass by the back on the option.
Man, great execution. That is how it's done late in the football game. Now, all you need is that extra point. Bring the kicker out there. This is what you do. Just like practice, knock it through the uprights, tie this football game, and we might be looking at overtime soon.
And a little pressure, no problem. The extra point ties the game here in the fourth. The returner will field it and bring it back. And they'll bring him down to get the offense started on the next drive. This drive will open from the 15. From the gun, the running back has it. This freshman makes the stop after a short gain. Timeout called by the defense, and there are only 10 seconds left in the game. Got 3 on first down. It's 2nd and 7. He'll pull it on the read. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. They get the timeout call with 7 seconds left on the clock. They've got to come up with a big play on this 3rd and long. Defense not showing press coverage. They'll go to the ground. And they're able to get a third down stop here. See if they go for it on fourth.
Coming up, fourth down. That's the end of
4 quarters not enough to settle this one. We're headed to overtime.
And these teams have played so well, back and forth, evenly contested game. How about a little free football, Jesse?
Yeah, I love this, David. Free football and finding out which of these two teams is the most mature. Who can settle down now with the game on the line and make the big play?
All right, guys, so here we go in overtime. And just to refresh everyone's memory, alternating possession starting on the opponent's 25.
And you want to play defense first because you want to know what you need. That's a key philosophical approach for most teams when it comes to overtime, David.
Yeah, and remember the rule change a couple years ago, too, and the second overtime and two-point conversion. So all this stuff is situational type football that you better have worked on throughout these weeks of the season.
The pull and throw off the RPO.
Yeah, when you get that man coverage, most people are taught to have inside leverage. So that out route's there if your QB can put some air on it and throw it outside of the guy. But tight coverage, but a really nice throw on that out route.
Looking for a chunk play on second and short. He gets the job done, picking up the first down, then getting down.
Second and short is a great situation to be in. And look at him. He drops back to pass the football. He doesn't have to throw the football. He wants to be aggressive, but he can just take off and scramble. Doesn't have to take a chance. Great being ahead of the sticks.
He stopped behind the line of scrimmage. He reached into his bag for that move, and it didn't get him loose at all. Defense rose up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a second and long coming. Looking to fire. Here's the heat. Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face third down. They've got a little work to do here on third and goal in overtime. On third and goal, they'll try to throw it in. Under fire. Just threw that one away to avoid disaster.
And these are super tough spots for the offense to be in. Third down and long in the red zone. The field is so small. Defenses can play so aggressive. QB didn't like anything he had. And honestly, he knows he's got a field goal in his pocket if he wants it. He just throws the football away.
Down by a field goal and a touchdown will win it. Let's see what they've got on first down. Starts a drive trying to go up top. It's complete to the right. Knocked down immediately, but a nice pickup on that one.
Listen, running backs are not just running backs anymore. You're going to be a wide receiver in today's football, and a great job sneaking out of the backfield, getting him the football, letting him get some positive yards.
The Lobos with a second and short to keep this drive moving. Back to pass. Finds his big tight end. They'll spot the ball at the 12 after that completion. Passing game kept the drive moving. Here's first down. To the air on first down. He's got it on the run. Couldn't quite nudge it in. Not sure you could get much closer, but it'll be first and goal.
Man, he looks like he's in a rhythm on this drive, right? 3 for 3. He's going where he needs to go with the football. The defense doesn't have any answers for him. Find the offensive coordinator. I'm letting this guy keep chucking it down here close to the goal line.
Trying to bully their way in. He got it in, and the celebration is on. A walk-off touchdown in OT.
And there's no secret about it. Line up in goal line formation. I'm going to run the ball down your throat. My guys are more physical than you. 6 points on the play.
What a thriller. What a confidence builder to be able to come up with a win like that in overtime.
This team has to love their ability to come up with big plays and big moments. How about in overtime, the individual efforts we saw?